to MCL sprain in his left knee. Here is what Steve Kerr said on whether we will see him early in the playoffs.
There's no way he's playing in the first round. There's no way. I mean, you know, he's being reevaluated in 3 weeks. So, yeah, so we got to be ready for to play without him and then see how he's coming along.
Now, Kerr just spoke to the media again just an hour ago, and he said, quote, regular season or playoffs, we can beat anybody without Steph. So, guys, look, any of these guys are super close. So any of these teams could end up in 7th, playing the Warriors, who will be at number 2. How vulnerable? Who's the team on this list that you think, yeah, they could prove Steve Kerr wrong and actually beat the Warriors or threaten the Warriors?
There's only one team on that list to me, and that's the Thunder.
Okay.
I think in the first round, if they play the Thunder, I don't know. I give the edge to the Thunder. If no Steph Curry, are we talking no Steph Curry?
No Steph Curry.
We're going to Venmo, man.
No Steph Curry.
No Steph Curry.
Then you have to get an edge to the Thunder. Now, when I talk about, and if the Spurs have Kawhi, that's another team.
Again,
I mean, I know
this team still has 3 of the top 20 players in the league. They have one of the best home courts. They have tremendous veteran leadership.
They don't have any depth.
Paul, spend some time worrying about something else besides the Warriors.
Listen, I mean, listen, we already saw the statistics. They're only 2 points better without Curry. Now, you get them in a close game with Oklahoma. You got Westbrook, Paul George. I know you got KD. You have Klay Thompson. But outside of that, when you look down the line, KD is probably going to be the best player in that series. Then you have Russ. Who's the next best player in that series? Paul George. So they have two of the top 3 players in that series.
I'm more worried about Steven Adams in that series if I'm the Warriors.
Oklahoma has 2 of the top 3 players in that series without Steph. You agree? Yes or no? There we go.
I mean,
I think 2 of the top 3 players in that game.
Depending on the game, Klay and Paul are comparable players. But
I mean, there's no one that's not going to pick Paul George over Klay Thompson, period.
Man, I'm just going to say,
I mean, Klay Thompson.
Anybody who wants to sell their Warriors stock, I'm ready to buy it. I can't believe it's even for sale. They are a loaded team with experience down the line, great coaching, great home court. Absolutely. I mean,
look, we'll see. This is what's fun. They have to play it out.
Have you seen the matchups this year versus the Thunder and Golden State?
Yeah, I saw a lot of things happen in the regular season. You know how different it is in the regular season. I've seen you get beat in the regular season, and then you come to the playoffs, and it's different because you were on a team that knows how to handle their business, that had 3 really great players, top 20 players in the league.
We're talking about the main cog to this engine. We're talking about Steph Curry.
I'm telling you, your 3 All-NBA players they still have. If you can't win a series with 3 NBA players, much less an NBA title with 3 All-NBA players, come on.
Seriously, I just want to see Russell Westbrook's eyes light up if they play each other
I'm not
in the first
even
round. I can't.
Even if I'm Oklahoma, I would
forget what
tank to
happens,
see them in the first round.
You would.
I would tank to see.
I mean, you're not really much of a tank. They're like a game out of sense. So we'll see what happens. I do want to get to the Rockets because they won their 60th game of the season on Sunday. Mike D'Antoni said afterward, no big deal. Players, quote, didn't care about extending their franchise record for wins. Do you think that Houston is watching all of this, sitting back? Remember we talked about this summer that Golden State's watching Cleveland go through all the histrionics with Kyrie demanding a trade, and they're sitting back going, ha, 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 ha. Is Houston now sitting back watching Golden State going, ha, ha?
You know, Houston's had bad luck for a decade plus.
Right.
With Tracy, with Yao. They had teams that they thought were going to be able to do it, and, you know, they haven't had it go their way. Now there actually is maybe some luck having on their side. It is lining up for them. That said, I still think the Warriors are going to be there, and I expect Steph by the conference finals to be back to being Steph. So I don't necessarily think they're going to be getting an easier ride, but you certainly look at this team. One thing I'll say about that's a little bit poetic about these guys. There's a whole bunch of dudes on this team who've had playoff heartbreak.
No
Chris
doubt.
Paul, James Harden, even when he was in Oklahoma City, some other guys. There is some hunger that they can.
The urgency is there. They see a window of opportunity here. Let me tell you. And when you look down at the Golden State Warriors and you see the injuries piling up, and who knows if they're going to come back 100%. The urgency is definitely there for James Harden. He said earlier, this is their year. Chris Paul, he knows. The clock is winding on Chris. You know, he's in his 30s, so he's like, this is his time. This is going to be his best opportunity at a championship he's ever had.
This is so fascinating to me because when Daryl Morey made some of these moves over the summer, there was a little bit of feeling like, why are you wasting your bullets now? Right? Why are you spending assets now? Why are you committing to a lot of money now? Chris Paul, he's 33 years old, and OG, you're going to be on the hook to a big contract to him after this year and all of that stuff. Look at the Warriors. You should just wait it out for a couple years. He said, I'm not going to wait it out. You never know what's going to happen.
Exactly. And
look at the position they're in now. I think it's remarkable to kind of see this. And my question is, what kind of shape is Steph going to be in when he comes out? Because, Paul, you can speak to this. You get compensation injuries, right? So
exactly.
It's not the same leg. We have to have a diagram of Steph Curry's body. It's not the same leg that the ankle injuries have been on this year. The knee is on the other side. But what happens as a player when you're trying to combat having maybe a weaker knee or a weaker ankle?
You lose strength in the knee when you are out and you can't strengthen it, and you lose, if you have any kind of surgical procedure, you automatically lose strength in the leg. So it's going to take him time of running, lifting weights, getting the strength back into the knee. But in Steph's case, he doesn't rely on a lot of athleticism. You know, he has great footwork, great ball handling, great shooting. And so I don't really see that as a major concern. As long as the knee is fine, he'll be fine.
I just worry if you do compensate a little with your other foot or other leg, that's the leg where he's had the ankle injuries.
He doesn't really rely on jumping so much.
Okay.
You know, everything he does is from the wrist.
Right?
Look at the wrist.
Well, they're going to get beat by the Thunder in the first round, so it's not going to
Oh, boy, here we go. Coming up, we will discuss the fallout from
right.
a
I just like how you threw that 2 out of 3 back in my face. I give you points for that. That was good.
I had him stuck on that one.
That was good. That was
You
good.
think this has been a lot? There was a shouting match with the Knicks yesterday. Jeff Hornacek and player Kyle O'Quinn. We will talk about that after the break. You got to see the video. First, though, here's our distant replay. This date, 2008, which was 10 years ago, people.
And also he doesn't have any shots, and they're not coming
Steve
easy.
Nash, watch your ankles. I remember that. Watch your ankles, Steve.
Look at Paul over there, just smiling on the perimeter. He's like, let's watch this young man go to
Shouts to
work.
Dick Pavetta. Getting a position. His line was funny.
He knows.
Look at Jerome. He
He
thought it was
knows.
good.